The aura of this magical beast is quite strange. That orange light indeed carries the aura of the sacred flame, but this creature seems to have no intellect at all. Has it become nothing more than a beast that knows only slaughter? Moreover, judging by its appearance, it doesn't seem to be related to the Hellfire slaves. The Six Paths Reincarnation puppets should be one of the signature abilities of the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal. How could it be so weak guarding the outermost perimeter? No, this can't go on any longer. We must escape quickly. As the words fell, Xiao suddenly froze in place. His footsteps pressed firmly into the ground, and waves of heat surged around him as his battle intent soared. Chirp, chirp. The mystic ice sacred flame hawk extended its front claws slightly, a cold gleam flashing as it swiped toward Xiao. It seemed like a simple strike, but in this eerie void, it unleashed astonishing waves of energy. Boom! The claw struck, and Xiao silently took a few steps back. The void before him rippled with terrifying energy, yet a faint smile appeared on his lips. Devouring spirit blood steel. As Xiao voice fell, 10 blood-red stone tablets infused with the power of the reincarnation force erupted from his body. They surged outward and completely surrounded the mystic ice sacred flame hawk. The overwhelming suppressive force caused the creature's expression to change dramatically. Roar! Sensing the horrifying bloodthirsty power emanating from the blood steel and the massive suppressive force, 2 different colored energy spheres began to rise slowly in the chest of the mystic ice sacred flame hawk. One represented the power of extreme cold, while the other was a fiery red flame. The 2 energies swirled around it, forming an almost imperceptible but powerful pressure. Submit. Xiao slammed his palm toward the mystic ice sacred flame hawk, instantly creating a blood-red storm that carried the power of the devouring spirit blood steel to suppress it. Wherever the blood-colored storm passed, trees in the surrounding forest were obliterated, and weaker magical beasts fled in terror. Rumble. Faced with such an attack, the mystic ice sacred flame hawk let out a cold snort from its massive beak, which sounded like thunder. Its giant wings flapped violently, and 2 distinctly different energy orbs shot out, colliding with the blood-colored storm. The 2 terrifying attacks, like lightning, ravaged outward, and the very space seemed to fall silent upon impact. Really an annoying fly. The rumbling continued, and the entire forest was shrouded in smoke as terrifying energy waves surged through the air. I'm done playing with you. With that, Xiao looked at several figures heading toward the edge of the reincarnation pool. He leaped into the air and dove straight into the pool, flashing a grin. Crack! The void twisted, and the space-time traversing handprint was activated, instantly opening up a distance. Without hesitation, Xiao plunged into the vast lake of the reincarnation pool. Roar! The mystic ice sacred flame hawk, enraged at being toyed with, let out a skyward roar. Its eyes released terrifying waves of energy. However, it stopped its pursuit as it reached the edge of the reincarnation pool, a strange sense of caution filling its gaze. It seemed as though there was an incredibly powerful being within the pool, and thus no magical beast or creature dared approach the reincarnation pool in this realm. With the danger temporarily averted, Xiao exhaled deeply and began to focus on examining the reincarnation pool. Whir. The moment Xiao entered the reincarnation pool, an extreme cold force, like icy needles, surged into his body. His soul, Do Qi, and other powers were all shaken. It felt as if in this place, his powers were being suppressed like never before. What was most surprising was that even with his 6 sacred flames, he still felt such immense pressure. If other powerful beings were here, their burden would likely be even greater. The Hellfire Slave's location? With a thought, Xiao quickly pinpointed its position and rushed toward the depths of the reincarnation pool. The reincarnation pool was vast. While it was called a pool, it was more accurately described as a massive lake. The water here mostly appeared deep orange, exuding a chilling coldness that penetrated to the bones. As Xiao moved, his limbs and arms emitted strands of glistening ice threads. Even someone like Xiao, protected by the sacred flames, found it difficult to withstand this pressure. It was clear that the situation for other powerful beings would be even worse. Splish. Truly the reincarnation pool. Move faster. Once we defeat those two women, we can go down and collect the treasures. The Soul Caller agent's voice was cold as he spoke with an eerie smile. Why rush? This puppet is quite ferocious. How about you take a turn? The Hell Envoy replied irritably. In the depths of the reincarnation pool, there was a vast palace complex surrounded by deep yellow waters. At this moment, fierce attacks were erupting from within. Yuru held the moon god sword in her hand, her arm slightly numb as she looked at the three people in front of her and the ancient palace complex below. The vast palace complex below must surely hide the heavenly stabilizing divine needle, but the immediate priority now was to defeat the three hell messengers in front of her. If they were defeated and driven away, it would be difficult to enter the complex. I'll hold them off. You go help Xiao. Once Xiao arrives, these three won't be a threat. After a brief pause, Yuru gritted her teeth and spoke with a grave expression. Yun didn't respond, but the aura emanating from the sword on her back grew even more bizarre. The source of this strange aura seemed to be the massive palace complex below. The group had arrived in this lake-bottom world and tried many methods but could not find a way in. That's when they thought of this self-destructive tactic. Heh, don't worry. You won't have that chance. Hell Realm, Reincarnation Curtain, the Hell Messenger sneered, and the illusory soul body suddenly expanded hundreds of times. Black mist began to pour out, attempting to envelop the two women bit by bit. Boom! The Hell Flame Slave's eyes were filled with determination as she threw a punch, forcefully breaking open a massive gap in the Hell Messenger's reincarnation domain. Go! The two women exchanged a glance, then quickly moved, racing toward the reincarnation pool's outer realm. The situation here was chaotic, with countless battle circles of various sizes. Clearly, these enemies wanted to eliminate all competition before searching for a way into the palace. Stay here, my disciples. Wuxiang Zen Master emerged, his entire body radiating with Buddhist light, directly blocking the two women's escape. Xiao, that fool, sure has a lot of luck with women, but what a shame. The soul-claiming messenger spoke, and a terrifyingly destructive power began to surge from his palm, rippling outward. Ha ha ha. Three of you ganging up on two. Aren't you afraid of looking foolish? At that moment, a figure wrapped in glass-like flames appeared, like a gust of wind, radiating an intense, furious aura. Xiao, you're all right? How is that possible? Seeing Xiao appear with a grin, the Hell Messenger's soul bodies trembled, and their eyelids twitched violently. The Mystic Ice Sacred Flame Hawk's killing power was well known. No one had ever escaped its attack. How could Xiao have evaded it so easily? Since you've chosen to provoke us, let's settle the score here. Sacred Flame Space. Xiao snorted, and immense sacred flame power surged out, instantly enveloping everyone. Two of the three were from the Hell Realm, so Xiao naturally didn't use his reincarnation domain or other advanced techniques. Attack! Let's crush them together. At that moment, the three enemies were united in hatred. Waves of surging energy erupted from their bodies, and they launched an attack. The three of them had a long-standing grudge with Xiao, and now it was impossible to avoid a fierce battle. Furthermore, the Hell Messengers harbored their own ambitions. Xiao, since you insist on coming here to die, we'll grant you your wish. Even though they were in the sacred flame space, the three showed no fear. The soul-claiming messenger's long, twisted tongue slithered as it released a chilling, terrifying aura, its eyes sharply fixed on Xiao. The soul-claiming messenger and the Hell Messengers were from the Hell Realm and had long wanted to challenge Xiao, the man from the human realm. Do you intend to interfere in our business? Xiao waved his hand, signaling the two women behind him to stay back. Wuxiang Demon Zen Master is my mentor. The monk, clad in a cassock, spoke slowly. When he mentioned Wuxiang Demon Zen Master, a surge of golden light emanated from his body, creating a powerful pressure. Ah, so it's an old foe. Xiao smiled faintly upon hearing this. Wuxiang Demon Zen Master was one of the three realms' powerful figures, a Buddhist realm expert. The three realm powerhouses had joined forces to suppress the Soul Devourer. After the Soul Devourer revived, he likely sought revenge, and since Xiao Yin had ties with the Soul Devourer, it was easy for their grudges to be transferred onto Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin smiled and said slowly, "Let's fight." Boom. As soon as his words fell, the entire sacred flame space suddenly distorted. Waves of scorching divine power surged out, turning the area into a sea of flames. When the sacred flame sea appeared, the faces of the soul-claiming messenger and the hell messenger twisted in horror. Their actions seemed as though they wanted to tear Xiao Yin apart. The 6 types of sacred flames Xiao Yin commanded created a fire sea that had a massive suppressive effect on the hell realm soul bodies. "You fools! Attack, kill him. He carries multiple sacred flames." The Soul Reaper grinned, its long tongue flickering as it traced ghostly figures around its body, releasing an extremely terrifying wail that echoed through the air. The Hell Messenger's eyes gleamed with a chilling light, and a monstrous, eerie aura erupted from its hands, like a massive wave crashing toward Xiao Yin. Boom! The powerful, otherworldly force of the Hell realm surged forward, but it was completely stopped by a stream of reincarnation power, which was wrapped in the glazed flame, not allowing it to advance an inch. Xiao Yin combined the sacred flame and the power of reincarnation, showing no hesitation as he threw a punch at the Hell Messenger's location. 2 terrifying forces clashed in the sacred flame space, creating an earth-shattering wave. Soul Reaper Scythe. The Soul Reaper's expression darkened, and its black eyes glinted with a horrifying force as it flicked its long tongue, transforming it into a sickle of malevolent energy that shot straight toward Xiao Yin. Crack! The crisp sound of a sword ringing out echoed as the long tongue was intercepted by a silver sword shadow just as it moved. "Your opponent is me." Yun Yun's long, dark hair cascaded like a waterfall as she wielded the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword, the blade locking onto the Soul Reaper. Her eyes, full of a warrior's pride, exuded the aura of a battle goddess. "Your opponent is me." On the other side, Wuxiang Zen Master, who was about to act, was entangled by Yuru. Vroom vroom. The 3 battles erupted simultaneously, and the power of reincarnation spread out, causing even the sacred flame space to tremble slightly. "Your strength is nothing special." With a cold sneer, the Hell Messenger grinned after their exchange. That last blow had been a draw. Although Xiao Yan's reincarnation power, enhanced by the sacred flame, was extraordinarily strange, the Hell Messenger's unique dark energy, originating from the Hell realm, was not to be underestimated. "Take this." Flame-protecting Kesa. In this situation, Wuxiang Zen Master suddenly took out a red Kesa, bathed in flames, from his robes and threw it to the Hell Messenger. The soul-devouring master had wiped out Wuxiang Demon Zen Master, as they were mortal enemies. Now, encountering his disciple, the Hell Messenger would stop at nothing to destroy him. "You're too early to celebrate." The flame-protecting Kesa is a treasure from the Buddhist realm. Though it's not on par with divine artifacts, wearing it can block most of the sacred flame's power. Without the sacred flame, in my eyes, you're like an ant. The Hell Messenger donned the Kesa, a faint smile curving at the corners of its mouth. Behind it, shadows of vengeful, sinister souls appeared one after another. Each of these souls held instruments of various shapes, as though preparing to perform a haunting melody. "Not necessarily." Xiao Yin shook his head. His fiery gaze dimmed, replaced by a sudden flash of silver fox-like light in his heart. "What is this?" In an instant, the Hell Messenger furrowed its brow, feeling the strange power emanating from Xiao Yin. Tiny, eerie gray sparks began to appear on Xiao Yan's skin, and within his body, an ancient, powerful force was slowly awakening. Vroom vroom. The low, rumbling sound of thunder erupted like a wild beast. "Is this lightning attribute? Why does this guy cultivate 2 attributes?" Wuxiang Zen Master and the Soul Reaper, after pushing back their respective opponents, looked in disbelief at Xiao Yin, sensing the strange lightning aura emanating from him. According to the intelligence they had received, the Lord of the Endless Fire Domain was supposed to be a fire attribute cultivator, wasn't he? Hell Messenger, don't panic. Xiao Yin has only perfected his fire power. His thunder power isn't remarkable. Defeat him as quickly as possible. Wuxiang Zen Master radiated a powerful Buddhist aura, directly resisting his opponent. Hell Soul Technique. 3 souls and 7 spirits. Demon Melody. Boom. The Hell Messenger raised its head, its cold, sinister eyes gleaming as it smiled ominously. 10 soul shadows appeared behind it. As soon as they appeared, the entire sacred flame space was filled with wailing and sorrowful cries from countless ghosts, while the 10 soul shadows, holding their instruments, began to play a soul-stirring and melodic tune. Under the influence of this sonic wave, the entire sacred flame space was filled with an overwhelming, sorrowful vibration. Thunderfire King of Hell Punch. Seeing the soul attack, Xiao Yin suddenly unleashed the soul defense Do technique he had previously obtained, the heavenly pivot instantly nullifying it. Gray lightning surged across his body, and with the glazed flame wrapping around his fist, a huge figure appeared behind him. In the blink of an eye, a punch carrying gray lightning and glazed sacred flame shot forward, mercilessly striking at the Hell Messenger's chest. Seeking death. Soul attacks are the signature technique of their Hell realm, and wherever the soul wave reaches, it can shatter mountains and crush stones. The terrifying power unleashed on a quasi-third reincarnation stage expert is as simple as squashing an ant. Clang, clang, clang. 10 soul shadows instantly shattered, flashing with 2 kinds of energy. The fists, ringing with the sound of gold and iron, emitted waves of piercing power that tore through everything, sweeping out with an overwhelming force. Gulp. Witnessing such a devastating momentum, the Hell Messenger's mind went blank as he stared in shock at Xiao Yin, who was charging toward him. Trying to run? With a single punch, the sacred flame space was directly twisted. The Hell Messenger's entire body collapsed like a spasm, and Xiao Yin slightly rubbed his fist before slamming his palm toward the distant void again. Xiao Yin, I am the Hell Messenger. If you kill me, the Hell Realm will never let you go. At this moment, the Hell Messenger's soul body flickered, as though it might shatter completely at any moment. His earlier soul attack should have torn Xiao Yin apart, but for some reason, Xiao Yin had completely ignored it. The final punch crushed his soul body, especially with that faint gray lightning flash, which seemed to carry a terrifying ancient power. The Hell Realm? I will go there eventually. With a swing of his hand, the Hell Messenger's body was instantly crushed by Xiao Yin. With the sacred flame's power suppressing the soul body, the Hell Messenger perished without a trace. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the distance, watching Xiao Yan's thunderous action as he obliterated the Hell Messenger, an extreme roar of fury sounded. Xiao Yin, you dare to kill the Hell Messenger? The Hell Realm Strong will never let you go. From afar, the Soul Hook Messenger, who was slightly at an advantage, coldly declared, his long tongue drawing intricate energy waves in the air. Hell Flame Slaves, attack! Let's kill them together. Xiao Yin was never one to show mercy, especially since he had already made enemies with the Soul Hook Messenger. He certainly wouldn't let them escape. This guy. The Wuxiang Zen Master glanced at the Hell Messenger. The Thunderfire King of Hell's punch not only shattered the Hell Messenger's soul body, but even the fire robe he had placed on the Hell Messenger had vanished without a trace. This so-called Xiao Yin not only possessed the sacred flame, but also had terrifying thunder and lightning powers. Whoosh! With a furious howl, the Soul Hook Messenger's eyes narrowed, his growing caution evident at Xiao Yan's increasingly diverse methods. Swish! The Soul Hook Messenger's ethereal hand shot forward, then clenched tightly. A vast and sinister soul power surged out, spreading throughout the sacred flame space. His figure moved like a ghost king, rushing toward Xiao Yin. Seeing this, Xiao Yin, with the Hell Flame Slaves and the 2 women entangling the Wuxiang Zen Master, covered his body with gray lightning and flame powers, charging directly at the incoming Soul Hook Messenger. Boom! The immense and eerie soul power, coupled with the divine and holy aura of reincarnation, collided with a deafening sound, buzzing in the air. Moments later, the soul hook messenger's body trembled violently and was sent flying from the explosion's center. A faint liquid, resembling human blood, appeared at the corner of his mouth. Wuxiang slash. Just as the soul hook messenger was blasted away, Xiao Yin raised his hand. An energy giant ruler, formed entirely from flame and lightning, surged into his palm, and he quietly swung it toward the sky. Boom! The Wuxiang slash, invisible and unpredictable, was nearly impossible to defend. The soul hook messenger's body was struck again with a heavy blow. After receiving 2 successive heavy injuries, the soul hook messenger suddenly went mad. His long tongue emitted an eerie black mist. Using the vast soul power, Xiao Yin noticed a dark pillar hidden within the mist. The pillar, covered in strange black patterns, was bound by a dark chain, as though something was being suppressed or sealed. Hell Reincarnation Pillar. Die, brat. With a change of his tongue, the magic pillar radiated several kinds of completely different glows. The soul hook messenger's eyes turned sharp as he stared at the unstoppable Xiao Yin. Hell Realm's weapon. Is it something like an immortal artifact? Xiao Yin narrowed his eyes, vaguely sensing some special power emanating from it. Rumble. As soon as the soul hook messenger finished speaking, the sealed Hell Reincarnation Pillar erupted with a chilling black glow. The black glow contained a terrifying aura of murderous intent, bursting out like a wild beast. Soul power and this kind of extraterritorial evil energy. Xiao Yan's eyes flickered with a hint of surprise, but in the next moment, a delicate flame lotus slowly emerged from beneath his feet. Above the 6-colored lotus platform, a beautiful and exquisite lotus seed floated. Before the black aura of the Hell Reincarnation Pillar could spread, and just as the 6-colored lotus platform stirred, bursts of 6-colored energy erupted with a sharp, piercing heat, evaporating all the malevolent aura that had spread out. The Hell Reincarnation Pillar was a weapon from the Hell Realm. It wasn't a divine artifact, merely an immortal artifact, designed to absorb the vengeful spirits and malevolent energy of human souls that lingered after death. Though it wasn't a divine weapon, its power was formidable, and it was notoriously difficult to control. In the hands of its wielder, its power could rival that of a divine artifact. Unfortunately for this enemy, it was facing Xiao Yin. Let's end this. Xiao Yin sneered coldly, step by step controlling the lotus platform as he approached the Soul Reaper. The 6-colored lotus seed directly invaded the area around the Hell Reincarnation Pillar, causing its chains to hum with fear. Boom! The 6-colored lotus seed ignored the corrosive malevolent aura. The moment it touched the Hell Reincarnation Pillar, an indescribable force of malice suddenly surged from the pillar, like a swarm of angry wasps. The terrifying malice even managed to evade some of the purifying power of the 6-colored lotus. It rushed up Xiao Yan's arm, invading his mind, consciousness, and soul, turning his eyes into pools of bloody red. Explode! At that moment, Xiao Yan finally let go of all restraint. He clenched his hand tightly, and the 6-colored lotus seed exploded around the Hell Reincarnation Pillar, releasing a brilliant burst of energy and flames, painting a stunning scene. In that instant, anyone could feel the terrifying power contained within the 6-colored lotus. As the explosion reverberated, an energy wave spread out, and the temperature of the entire sacred flame space plummeted to its extreme. Boom! The deafening sound shattered the heavens. The sacred flame space couldn't withstand such immense pressure and collapsed in an instant. Everyone's bodies reappeared at the bottom of the reincarnation pond, but the violent energy fluctuations, as they touched the waters, seemed like the judgment of the King of Hell, steadily draining the life force from the Soul Reaper. However, in this reincarnation pond, no great waves were stirred. Instead, it was as if the energy waves were gentle ripples, weak and insignificant. The explosive power had seemingly been compressed dozens of times. No! The Soul Reaper's face turned pale. His soul and body had withered, feeling weak and drained. Yet, As he saw the Hell Reincarnation pillar cracking under the explosion of Xiao Yan's six-colored lotus seed, it looked like it was on the verge of complete destruction. He nearly roared in fury. Why was Xiao Yan's power so terrifying? Crack! With a final sound, the Hell Reincarnation pillar shattered completely. The numerous malevolent auras within it were instantly purified by the sacred flame's residual energy. The Soul Reaper's face went ashen, and a trace of unease uncontrollably emerged. Poof! On the other side, Wuxiang Zen Master's chest was suddenly pierced by Yun Yun's Taiji Heavenly Emperor Sword. His life force drained rapidly. Even if a great Luo Golden Immortal appeared, it would be of no use. Under the combined attack of the two women and the Hell Flame Slave, this man was naturally defeated without resistance. Despite his overwhelming anger toward Xiaoyan, he was helpless, just as when the soul-devouring lord had previously erased Wuxiang Demon Zen Master. Slurp, gulp. Having landed a hit, Xiaoyan was about to completely erase the last trace of their origin when, unexpectedly, two terrifying energy beams suddenly shot out from Yun Yun's body. The light orbs, like hungry wolves, devoured the last remnants of the Soul Reaper and Wuxiang Zen Master's origin, one after the other. The energy then reformed into a flash of light, returning to Yun Yun's delicate frame. What? From a distance, Yuru watched in surprise as the two beams of light, clearly from the Taiji Heavenly Emperor Sword, had actively consumed the last vestiges of the two reincarnation powerhouses' origin. Everything should be fine. With the three Hell Envoys vanquished by Xiaoyan, he hurriedly moved to Yun Yun's side, looking at her slightly flushed cheeks, and asked with concern. The evil spirits had once been forcibly sealed by the Heavenly Emperor, and even Xiaoyan couldn't easily expel them. Therefore, he had never acted rashly, but this action was indeed unusual. I'm fine. Yun Yun smiled sweetly, swiftly returning the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword to its sheath, trying to calm her breath. However, the two evil spirits seemed to be undergoing some strange transformation after consuming the energy. The vast palace complex below was remarkably intact, but there was a constant flow of water moving through it. The water seemed to form mysterious forces, and in the process, some other power seemed to be protecting the lower world, preventing anyone from exploring it. The most crucial part was the battle between several individuals inside the sacred flame space. The level of energy fluctuation caused by that battle was enough to stir up a huge storm in any void. Yet here, it barely caused a ripple of energy. This scene was utterly bizarre. These guys actually wiped out two messengers from the Hell Realm and the Formless Zen Master? With the arrival of Xiaoyan and his companions, several figures had already gathered in the air above the 100-meter-wide water near the palace complex below. Among them were the Nether Sea Dragon Serpent, the Myriad Venom Goo Maiden, and other powerful figures from the human realm. These experts shifted their gazes from the palace complex below to the three of them, and an invisible pressure descended upon them. Let you act smug for a while longer. After all, this place will eventually become your burial ground. Tang Feng shot a sharp glance at Xiaoyan, seemingly confident. How's it going? After handling the three of them, Xiaoyan hurriedly flew toward the Nether Sea Dragon Serpent and the Myriad Venom Goo Maiden, asking. It was clear that they had been here for a while, but there was no progress. Look, at the bottom of this reincarnation pool, the water flows in a very mysterious arrangement, forming a powerful formation that protects the vast palace complex below. Some curious individuals have already fallen in, and if we want to enter the lower world, we may need some special method. As she spoke, the Nether Sea Dragon Serpent pointed to some human remains in the water below, clearly belonging to the unlucky ones who had tried to enter without permission. Quite strange. Could there be a guardian beast under this water formation? Xiaoyan squinted his eyes and released his enormous spiritual power, probing the area below. Whom? As his spiritual energy spread, the moment it touched the seemingly slow-moving water, a heart-wrenching pain shot through his soul, causing his face to turn pale and his eyes to bloodshot, as if facing a formidable enemy. This water formation was no simple matter. Heh, everyone. Since we're all here, we can't go back empty-handed, can we? Tang Feng sneered slightly and stepped forward, standing in front of everyone. In the entire reincarnation pool, dozens of young talents exchanged glances, but none showed any intention of retreating. Yet, none of them made any move to forcefully act either. After all, these individuals were all geniuses from their respective domains, and their thoughts were often in alignment. The strongest among the human realm's vassal races, Tang Feng? As soon as Tang Feng spoke, everyone present was momentarily startled. Then, after a brief hesitation, they realized that many were aware of his great achievements. What do you want to do? The myriad venom goo maiden frowned, her gaze wary as she watched Tang Feng. Although he looked proper and well-dressed, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about him. You all risked coming here, and I assume it's for the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortals treasures and the Sacred Flame. But the water formation below is hindering us. How about we combine our forces to break this strange formation together? As for the treasures below, we'll each rely on our abilities. What do you think? Tang Feng, with his usual arrogance, explained with flair. His words were clearly meant to avoid wasting too much energy here. If any of the dozens of people gathered here fully unleashed their powers, this ancient formation would hardly be able to stop them. However, surrounded by enemies, they weren't foolish enough to waste their reincarnation powers to pave the way for others, which was why the situation had stalled. You know how to break the formation and find the way below. Just as everyone was pondering Tang Feng's words, Xiao Yan's Hellfire Slave revealed a piece of information that filled him with excitement. From the information the Hellfire Slave had provided, it seemed that the world below was the homeland of their Six Paths Reincarnation Fire Slaves. Yun, Yuru, stay close to me. Xiao Yan, upon hearing this, turned to look at his Hellfire Slave with deep eyes, suddenly having a flash of inspiration. He then transmitted his voice to the two women. This bizarre water formation was incredibly tricky. If one person tried to break it alone, it would surely waste too much power. Now, they could take advantage of everyone's combined strength to break the formation. Once it was broken, they could dive in and search for the treasures. Got it. The two women silently agreed, then fell silent, ready to move with Xiao Yan. This person makes sense. Since that's the case, let's do it. Some powerful figures listened to Tang Feng's words and immediately nodded, but the wariness in their hearts did not diminish in the slightest. After all, very few people who had made it this far were fools. These idiots. Whom? Tang Feng muttered a curse inwardly, but a terrifying, profound power still emanated from his body. Boom. Seeing Tang Feng take the initiative, many strong figures exchanged glances. Then, the overwhelming power of reincarnation surged from within their bodies, forming a magnificent and colorful river of energy that suddenly transformed into a fierce beast, charging toward the water flow formation below. Boom! A deafening sound reverberated through the lake bottom, and the swirling water formations began to twist and distort. They couldn't hold for long before collapsing with a mighty explosion. It was naturally easy to deal with this formation when combining everyone's strength. Now, we can head to the palace complex below. As for whether we can obtain treasures, that depends on each one's luck. As soon as the words fell, figures turned into streaks of light, rushing toward the bottom with overwhelming greed in their eyes. Such a vast palace complex below surely contained countless treasures, but whether they could obtain them still depended on their fate. We should go too. Xiao Yan and the others did not move hastily. After waiting a moment, they controlled their Hellfire Slaves, continuously communicating to gather information about the palace complex below. Yuru nodded slightly, her teeth gritting. Their purpose for coming here was the heaven-stabilizing divine needle, an item of irreplaceable importance to the immortal realm. Hoo-hoo! Suppressing the burning heat in their minds, the three of them, along with the Hellfire Slaves, leaped into the air, like lightning bolts, surging toward the vast palace complex below. The world beneath the reincarnation pool's lake bottom was astonishingly vast, with a well-preserved and ancient palace complex. Gigantic palaces emerged one after another, their ancient, sacred aura lingering. It was clear to everyone that this was likely the treasure vault within the cave dwellings. The four of them raced forward swiftly, but unlike others, they did not head toward the grand palaces. Instead, under the guidance of the Hellfire slaves, they eerily moved towards some dilapidated stone palaces. Normally, the larger and more magnificent a palace was, the greater the treasures it would hold. Yet Xiao and the others were taking the opposite approach. The place where the heaven-stabilizing divine needle is stored is ahead. Be careful. After about 10 minutes of rapid travel, a dilapidated palace with white, weathered walls appeared before them. The palace's surrounding walls had long since been corroded by time, but the entire structure was spacious and empty. Inside, the sound of humming vibrations filled the air, radiating scorching heat waves. No one around? Let's go. Yun's beautiful eyes scanned the surroundings. Seeing no one in sight, it was clear that with so many palaces, the strong cultivators had already dispersed to explore them. Boom! Xiao moved lightly, releasing his soul power and staying on high alert. His palm enveloped in sacred flame, he gently struck the stone palace's main door. The booming sound echoed as a white mist slowly poured out. Bang, bang, bang. As the white mist spread, Xiao tensed, veins bulging as beads of sweat dripped from his forehead. Then, it must be the heaven-stabilizing divine needle. The three of them quietly stepped through the main door of the palace, entering cautiously. Still on the edge of the palace, they saw a light barrier within. Inside the light barrier, there stood an ancient and unmoving pillar reaching toward the heavens. Through the barrier, one could vaguely see mysterious light patterns carved on the pillar. Sword lights, blade glows, and celestial energies, radiating an imposing and mysterious aura. As expected, it's the heaven-stabilizing divine needle. At that moment, a look of deep satisfaction appeared in Yun's eyes. The immortal realm was split by the heavenly emperor's sword just before his death. Only the heaven-stabilizing divine needle could rebuild the immortal realm and the entire great thousand worlds. What a grand design! 4 statues of puppets. Xiao stretched out a hand, stopping Yu, whose eyes were filled with fiery desire. In the center of the stone palace, a round platform slightly rose, with 4 stone statues silently standing around the light barrier, as though guarding this divine weapon. This divine weapon must be obtained. Yu was also aware of the formidable energy contained within the 4 statues, but for the immortal realm, even if she had to shatter herself to pieces, she had to seize it. I know. You stay here. After saying that, Xiao, along with the Hellfire slaves, moved swiftly as a ghost, stepping first into the edge of the light barrier. You don't remember the specific situation here, only vaguely recalling its location, right? However, the 4 stone statues seemed almost alive in Xiao's perception. Once he stepped onto the platform or touched the light barrier, they would awaken like guardians. Their strength was at the 3rd reincarnation stage, which was not enough to make Xiao fearful. However, the flame mantra within him stirred with a sense of agitation. This agitation felt as though it had encountered a formidable enemy. It was the strongest he had ever felt in his life. SSSS. An evil aura? What's going on here? Just as Xiao was filled with confusion, his eyes suddenly widened, and his body trembled. There was a faint black mist swirling around the 4 stone statues. In that moment, as the black mist surged, all the power within Xiao's body quieted down. The terrifying evil force felt even denser than the dark demon he had encountered earlier. Heh, the mighty lord of the endless flame domain is being so cautious. Let me lend you a hand. At the moment of Xiao's shock, a sinister figure appeared on the ceiling of the stone hall. Then, a pale hand reached out from the black mist, gently bit down, and crimson blood dripped vertically into the light barrier. VVVMMM.